it's just mind-blowing, you know? It's just one scene after the other, one lake after the other, and it's just, how can it get any better than this?
Hey guys, it's Brian here from Great Lakes Backpacker, and just let you know that I'm starting off a little backwards here. Normally I would do something like this at the beginning of a hike at the trailhead, and I didn't, obviously. We're at our first night's camp here in the Beartooth Mountains in Montana, and we started off the hike and just kind of kept going, and so I guess I'm going to do this little introduction now while we're cooking dinner. So like I said, my name is Brian. You kind of recognize me if you've been visiting the channel. And the guy sitting next to me over here is Dane, aka Sherpa from featheredprop.com, also by the YouTube channel the same name. And several months ago, Dane emailed me and said, hey, I'm going to be doing this hike, would you like to come along with me? And it's been my dream for years to go out west and hike Montana, Nevada, Utah, that kind of stuff. So I said, plan it, I'm jumping on board with you. Mosquitoes are kind of bad here if you can't tell. So it's been a long time planning, and the wait and the anticipation's finally paid off. So we're making dinner right now, and I'm going to shut this off because I'm just kind of getting swarmed by mosquitoes. So we'll talk to you later. Alright, so here is our first view of Kersey Lake. It's the first lake we encounter since we left the trailhead back at Clark's Fork there. And we saw the lake earlier back, but the trail didn't go by, so we didn't want to bushwhack through the trees and the weeds to get there. But it's kind of opening up here, so this is our first shot of it. Alright, again, this is Kersey Lake. Just a little bit better view. The weather is just phenomenal, and the views here are just unbelievable. I'm going to try to not say that word too much through this hike, but I think it's going to be like a tagline that I use, because this is just incredible. It's just breathtaking. Okay, so I don't know quite where we're at right now in terms of the map, but we're somewhere between Kersey Lake and Russell Lake. We're about 4 miles in, so we're probably at least 2/3 of the way to Russell Lake, but that doesn't really give us a good pinpoint on this, but this is just amazing scenery. So we're hiking along, and just out of nowhere here is this monster flat slab of rock. At the bottom of this like scree field of boulder. I may run out of room on my memory card, because every time we turn a corner there's like another amazing sight that we just have to stop and get a picture or video of. Okay, so we have arrived at Azul Lake here. So this is about 6.1 miles in from our start at the trailhead down at Clark's Fork. And just like everything else we've seen before us, this is just a phenomenal view.
The Lake of the Clouds is off to the distance, or maybe a trail going to it. But we passed Russell, so that's where we're heading next.
Azul?
Oh, yeah, something like that.
Doing the whole trail? Or you
yeah,
going?
Going to
Good.
Rosebud.
Yeah, I've heard, we only did, like I said, out to Dewey last time in the back, but I've heard the east side of the trail is much nicer, as far as grandeur and whatnot. I mean, you guys...
Alright, so it's about 3:15 right now, and from what we can figure, we're just a short distance, maybe only a couple tenths of a mile from Azul Lake, where we're going to be stopping for the night. And it started raining, as you can tell, so we stopped, threw on the pack covers and the raincoat, and we got probably a few tenths of a mile to hike here in the rain, but overall it's been a good day so far. We're probably about 5 minutes from that last little video I shot by the lake, and Dane just informed me that we're about 9,200 feet right now, so we got to be getting close to Lake Azul, where we're going to be stopping for the night. Take care. Well, I see some blue sky up there, Dane. Maybe that's a good sign. So this is our setup here near Azul Lake, where we're staying on our first night here on Thursday, and Dane is set up right there, and I am set up in my hammock and tarp right here. We just happened to find some trees that were close together, and we're actually kind of sheltered because we got some trees above us to kind of keep the rain off of us. So while it was raining, we didn't even have that much hitting the tarp. So looks like we got a couple nice spots here. Okay, so you really can't see our hammocks, but they're set up right in here, and if you look right over here, this is the view we got. The scenery here is just breathtaking. I've never ever seen anything like it, and I hope it comes out on video. There's just no way to describe what we've been through today. And the views are actually supposed to get better in the next 2 days too, so I'm really looking forward to it. Fortunately, the rain has stopped right now. Hopefully it's done for the night and the next 2 days. If not, I guess we deal with it, but it would be nice to have blue skies so we can get some really nice pictures of this landscape. It's just phenomenal. So it's been a little bit of an interesting day. For some reason, and I still don't know why, I'm going to have to try and figure it out. I had 2 GoPro batteries drain on me within an hour, hour and a half, and I didn't use them all that much. Fortunately, I've got a battery pack. I plugged them in and charged them up, so they should be good to go. And this is actually the 3rd one I've got that I'm recording this with. And this one seems to be doing a little bit better, so I'm going to have to try and diagnose what happened with my batteries. And we did end up encountering some rain for about 20-25 minutes, and then if you can't tell, it's starting to rain again now. It's a light drizzle, so hopefully we can get through dinner before it really comes down. And you can't see right now, but behind us here, behind you, there's some blue sky out there. But over this way where the weather's coming from, it looks like it's raining, so we'll have to see how this all works out tonight. But we've got our hammocks all strung up, and we got the tarps all deployed, so even if it does come down tonight, we're going to have a dry place to sleep. And then finally, the other interesting thing that happened is we got here, got everything all set up at camp. We went down to Lake Azul, where we're staying here, to filter some water. And my water filter, which was fine last year in the White Mountains and worked well when I cleaned it out and disinfected it at the end of the trip, all of a sudden didn't want to pump water. I literally had just drops coming out, and there was no way it was going to work. So We back flushed it like 4 or 5 times. It seemed to help it out a bit, but it still doesn't seem like the water flow is where it should be, but at least it works. So maybe I'll back flush again tomorrow, and hopefully we'll get it back to full capacity, but at least we got it working. I got everything filled up that I need to. So that's it for now. So Dana and I are out here enjoying the break in the rain, and he just pointed this out. I'm sure you can see it out here. We got some fog or some steam or something rising up over there. And then actually, if you look over here, you can see the same thing over here. Kind of cool. Don't know what's causing it, but... And actually, it may not show up, but there's some stuff coming up right through here too. Okay, so it's about 6:55 right now, and I'm sure you can probably hear the rain hitting the tarp here. It started raining on us before dinner was even finished, so we ate a couple hundred feet away because we are in bear country, black bear, grizzly bear. So we did the prudent thing and ate away from where we're sleeping, and we ate in the rain and then hung our food from a tree in the rain so the bears can't get it. And then we came back here, got some warm clothes on, and since there's nothing to do here now, since it's raining, we're just gonna, I think, hang out in our hammocks. This is the first time using my new Osprey Exos 58 backpack, and I really like it so far. It's really been nice, and so that was a good point. And then this is also the first time using my brand new hammock gear 20-degree Econ underquilt, and it didn't take too long to get it hung and dialed in, probably a little bit more than it really should, but since it's the first time out in the field, I'm happy with the amount of time it took, and I'm kind of nice and toasty warm right now, so I must have it dialed in right. I don't have any drafts getting in, so even though we got rained on and we're kind of stuck here in the hammocks for now, I'm kind of happy with everything else that turned out well today. So I guess the good thing about being in bed by 7 o'clock is we're going to get plenty of rest tonight. We'll be able to get an early start on the day tomorrow. We're going to have, I don't know, I think 12 and a half miles tomorrow. And the first part of the day here is going to entail, I think, about 700 feet in elevation gain. And then after there, it'll be all downhill. And nice thing is, I think the weather is supposed to be nice tomorrow, which is Friday. And then Saturday, our last day hiking out, I think it's also supposed to be nice. So I'm looking forward to that. And then the other thing I'm looking forward to today was pretty much spent in the woods. Every once in a while when we got to a lake, we had some really nice scenery, and then some, you know, periodic nice views from certain locations along the trail. But after Fossil Lake tomorrow, when we top out the high point on the trail, it's really going to open up. We're not going to have as many trees, and the views are supposed to be even more stunning than what we've had so far today. So I'm really looking forward to it, and I guess that's about all I got to say right now. I'm going to lay here and listen to the rain and maybe put me to sleep, and we'll talk to you tomorrow. Alright, good morning everyone. It's day 2, morning of day 2 here in the Beartooth Mountains, and it's probably about 7:15 right now. I woke up about 7, Dane apparently woke up about 6 o'clock, had a neat experience. He heard a noise and looked out from under his tarp, and there was a buck and a doe only feet from his hammock. So he filmed them for about 5 minutes as they wandered around and grazed, and the buck saw him and kind of stomped his feet at him a couple times. So he had an interesting experience that I missed by about an hour, but he got some good footage of it. And it looks like the clouds are pretty much gone. The overcast stuff that we had last night that kind of let us get wet and soaked everything around here is now gone. And if you look up at the top there, I'll pan around eventually here, we're getting some sun up there. So I'm hoping that once the sun comes out, we're going to end up getting rid of the chill here. It's pretty cold. I got my fleece on and I put my raincoat on just to kind of break the wind. But it's looking like it's going to shape up to be a good morning. So we're actually making some coffee and some hot chocolate right now to kind of take the chill off, and then we're going to probably have something to eat and then pack up and then hit the trail. So things are looking good for today. And so if the forecast for today and tomorrow holds to be true from what we heard before we hit the trail, it should be a good day today and tomorrow. So that's it for now, and I'll show you some of the scenery here. So right now you're looking generally towards the west. The sun is coming up over there. Hopefully you can kind of tell. And then looking out here through the valley, you can actually see some sun on the peak over here. So that's a welcome sign. We got a nice little pond down there. And then panning around here over towards the east, you can see the sun starting to hit the top of the ridge over there. So, like I said, I'm looking forward to this. Get the sun up here and take the chill out of the air. All right, so here's a little quick shot of our camp. We got Dane's hammock over here. I'm set up right next to him over there. He's got his stove going right now, making some coffee and some oatmeal. And I got my stuff set up over here. That should be coming to a boil here in a minute. So I'll make my oatmeal, and then I'll fire up another one for my hot chocolate, and then that'll be breakfast. Yeah, it's starting to boil there, so I think I'm done. I'm going to pull that off, pour it on oatmeal, and have some breakfast. Alright, so while the oatmeal is rehydrating and I'm waiting for the water to boil again for my hot chocolate, maybe I'll give you a quick tour here of my setup. Right now we're underneath my War Bonnet Superfly tarp, which, as you can tell, gives you a ton of room in here. I got my hammock strung up in here, and then I've got my brand new Hammock Gear Econ Incubator 20. Very first night that I used this, and this kept me nice and toasty warm all night. I don't have a top quilt, but I just used this fleece sleeping bag and laid it over the top of me, and I was good all night except for the top of my toes. And I think that's just because they kind of stuck up a little bit above the hammock and the underquilt, and my toes got a little bit cold, but I just kind of pulled them back down and shifted around, and I was good. So good night's sleep. And yeah, so this is it. Have some breakfast. Hopefully the sun will come out, shake the water off the tarp, and get ready and hit the trail. Alright, so it is probably, I'm guessing, around 9:20 or 9:30. We're hoping to get out of here about 9 o'clock, but got a little bit later, and just stopped to top off the water here at Lake Azul, or however you pronounce it. And the sun is coming out. You can see it up there on the rock. It just looks spectacular here. And then once we make it up past Bald Knob Lake, the next one, Skull Lake, then we're heading up to Fossil Lake, where we gain a lot of elevation. We'll reach the high point, and then from there the scenery kind of opens up from what we've been told, and the views are even more spectacular than this. So stay tuned, guys. Alright, so we are actually at our first official stream crossing here. Lake Azul, where we came and spent the night, was right over there. And Dane is heading across right now, do some boulder hopping. And you can see the trail picks up on the other side over here. And I am filming right now with my phone because for some reason there's a glitch with my GoPro and it's saying the memory card is full. I haven't done that much filming, so there's no way 64 gig could be taken up. So when we stop for lunch, I'm going to see if I can maybe diagnose it and figure out what's wrong. And I guess if I can't figure it out, then everything else is going to be done with my phone here. So joys of technology. So it's shortly before 10 o'clock here. We're not making very good progress at all today because I don't think we've even gone like 2/10 of a mile, and we keep having to stop because every turn that we make, there's just something more spectacular to see. So we stayed at Lake Azul last night. This is the next big lake on the map, this is Bald Knob Lake. And as you can tell, the scenery is just breathtaking. Once again, we didn't make it too much further. We climbed a little bit in elevation, but now we're looking back down on Bald Knob Lake. And the weather this morning is really nice. Blue skies, little white puffy clouds up there. Temperature's perfect. A little bit of a breeze here and there. But for like the, 5 minutes we've actually been hiking, it's been beautiful. And it's supposed to get even better. Okay, so we think what this is here, this is Gull Lake, from best we can figure out. And then so when the trail, on the left side of the screen here, we're going to follow this trail. Wherever it goes, I think the next thing we're going to encounter after we climb up to one of the highest points up here is going to be Fossil Lake. And then we'll top out at the highest elevation we're going to hit on this trail, somewhere right in the middle of Fossil Lake, and then from there it'll all be downhill. But this is just another incredible view. Alright, Dane, so what in the world is your take on this trail so far with all this amazing scenery?
It's just mind-blowing, you know? It's just one scene after the other, one lake after the other, and it's just, how can it get any better than this? This is just amazing.
I gotta agree with you. Alright, so this has been an interesting trip so far. It seems like things want to conspire against us for some reason. We had some rain yesterday, which really isn't a big deal, but we got some stuff wet, nothing we couldn't handle. And like I mentioned earlier in the video, I had a problem with my water filter initially. I think we kind of got it fixed. And then yesterday, 2 of my GoPro batteries drained in a matter of, I don't know, hour and a half. And I didn't take that much video. And then a while back, shortly after we hit the trail today, went to take some video with my GoPro, and it said my 64 gig memory card was full. No way it could have been full because I haven't taken that much video. So I got an issue with that, and now Dane has discovered that there's maybe something going on with the water bladder in his backpack. So we're going to stop so he can make sure that there's no leak and it's going to get in all of his clothes and his hammock and everything. So it's been kind of interesting, but nothing we can't handle. It just gives us something to talk about in the future, I guess. We got another stream crossing here. Looks like it shouldn't be too bad. We got some boulders to hop across, so with our hiking poles and boulders there, it shouldn't be too bad. Cross over there. Skull Lake was over the ridge behind here, and so I think the next lake we're going to come to is Fossil. Okay, so we just passed Skull Lake a little ways back here. There's some small, I'm assuming it's probably an unnamed lake. I wouldn't even call it a lake, it's more like a pond. But, like I said, I think we just passed Skull Lake. And then further up on this trail, I think the next one we encounter has got to be Fossil Lake. So, probably got a little less than 200 feet of elevation to gain before we reach the high point in the middle of Fossil Lake. And we'll see what the views look like up there. You can see there's a large cairn up there on the right. Huge. I really don't think you need it because there's no way you can miss this trail. We just encountered our first little bit of snow here.
How about snowball?
In the 3rd week of August up here in the Beartooth Mountains. Dane's getting ready to make a snowball here. It's either going to be a snowman or it's going to come flying my way. Maybe the other way.
Hey, Cujo. How you doing?
Apparently dog likes the snow too.
a long time I got to get out the Appalachians. You know, I just got to get out west. And so after Colorado,
we just passed a female back here hiking the opposite direction, and she just pointed out to us that that rock cairn over there was the highest point on this trail. I was thinking it was further ahead of us by Fossil Lake, but apparently that was it. It was like 9,972 feet. So everything from here is downhill, and she says we got a few switchbacks coming up, going down, and an incredible field of wildflowers, so I can't wait. Okay, so you probably can't even tell because the trail came across right here, and then it runs through this little boulder field here. We came from over here somewhere, and the snow field we just passed was up over this ridge. But this is Fossil Lake here. Another beautiful piece of land here that we're crossing through. It's a little windy here now, and so all the heat that I built up when we were climbing up is now kind of dissipated because it's really windy, but it's kind of refreshing. So Fossil Lake actually kind of connects behind this land right here. You can't see it. This is still Fossil Lake, and it kind of wraps around over this way too. So we're heading down that way, and looking forward to whatever comes up next. It's supposed to be really beautiful. Alright, so it's, I don't know, a little after 12 o'clock, and we decided to stop here for lunch. And looking at the map, it looks like this is the far east end of Fossil Lake. So we're going to stop here for a few minutes and grab something to eat, and then headed back down the trail.
Oh, okay. Alright.
Alright, so like I just mentioned, here's Fossil Lake. And from what we can tell, we're like right at the east end of the lake here. So we're going to stop here for lunch, and then we're going to continue down the trail. We're going to go past Dewey Lake right here, and then we're going to end the night right over here at Rainbow Lake. So from right about here to where Rainbow Lake is about 7.5 miles, and we're really not that much further past this. So we've kind of been moving slow because of all the scenery, but we got time yet. We'll make it there. So we're just hiking along here, and Dane says, "Hey, look at that," and points off to the left side of the trail. We got this little, I wouldn't even call it a pond, it's like a puddle, but it's still got all this snow coming down from higher up on the mountain, and hopefully it shows up on the video. There's like shades of pink in it, so it must be bringing some kind of sediment down from higher up in the mountain, and it's kind of got that weird little gouge out of the end of it where maybe it heated up and kind of slipped forward and then kind of just stayed like that. Just kind of some interesting stuff to look at. So we haven't seen too many lakes here. Now we're just kind of like hiking along the trail, but we've got like this small valley to the side and a big mountain ridge off to our right side, which would be our east. Just kind of really beautiful here. Yeah, here we got just a really nice little waterfall coming down the rocks. And as you can tell, there's still a little bit of snow up there on the mountains. Again, this is the third week in May, although I heard that they did have a really bad winter here this year, so there must have been a lot of snow up there. Fortunately for us, basically the rest of our hike is going to be downhill, and this just happens to be a fairly steep downhill section, so I'm glad we're not hiking up it. I don't think either one of us are really sure which lake this is. We haven't pulled the map out in a while. We're just kind of intent on hiking because I don't want to say we've wasted time today, but we've stopped to take pictures and video and just be in wonder of the scenery, and it's kind of slowed us down. So we've just kind of been on a kick hiking down the trail here, but this is just amazing scenery here. I know I keep saying it, and if you're watching this video all the way through, you keep hearing me say it, but it's just, you can't explain this with words. And I don't know, 15 minutes or so back, we ended up coming, we lost a lot of elevation we gained, and then we came up through some pretty steep switchbacks through like a pine or evergreen forest, and the odor from the pine trees just permeated the air, and it wasn't like you'd catch a little glimpse of it, it was just all over. And that's one of those things I've always enjoyed about nature, especially in pine tree forests like that. You just get that pine scent in the air, and there was a little bit of a breeze when we came out of there, so it's just been a spectacular day so far. We've done so much lollygagging this morning because of the beautiful scenery. I just stopped to check the map, and we're a lot further away than I thought. We still got, from this point, we got like just shy of 7 miles to go. And it's, I don't even know what time it is, 1 o'clock or 2:30. So we're looking at 3.5 hours to go yet. And so I don't really even want to take time to stop and talk. Fortunately, the scenery is still beautiful, but not like we had early on in the day. So yeah, that's where we're at right now. Just shy of 7 miles out. So I really hoped we were going to be further than that right now, but it is what it is. So we'll check in later. I know I said I wasn't going to stop anymore because we're so far behind, but Dane was about 100 yards behind me, and I came across this. Check this out. Every single time we think something else better can't come along, we see stuff like this. I don't even know how you describe this. And then just look at this craggy peak up here. Unbelievable. I don't know how else to describe it. We're just discussing how safe this looks to go across. Especially that section down there that looks like it's busting out. I guess it's probably safe to say we'll probably make it, but how long before that sucker just caves in? Dane, it's been great hiking with ya. We're kind of hiking right along the edge of the drop-off here. This is kind of a first for us. I don't think we've really been this close to the edge yet so far. And it's amazing how quickly the sound of that waterfall drops off with only a short distance away. Wild huckleberries here along the trail. They're actually pretty decent. They're really sweet. I don't know, this one looks not too bad. Yep. Not many here though. I think everyone else has kind of picked them over. Okay, we really haven't stopped to do any video or look at anything. It's actually been kind of nice because we really haven't seen too much. We've actually had a good distance here. We've had a pretty good clip going along, and from what we can figure, we're estimating we maybe got another 3 miles, which is about another hour, maybe depending on the terrain, maybe a little bit less, probably not. So we're stopping to try and check the map and actually see if we can figure out where we're at. Because hold yourself down. I'm going to flip around. We've got this really nice mountain lake here, so we're going to try and figure out on the map where this is so we can pinpoint a location, maybe figure out how many miles we got left. Alright, so we're figuring that the lake we're at right now is probably Duggan Lake right here. So we're thinking another 4 plus miles, 3, 4, something like that, up through here, and then spend the night at Rainbow Lake right here. So that's what we're thinking. So we got a little bit more to go. You know, this is just spectacular. I really feel like I should hear angels singing right now. This is just incredible. We've come down quite a distance here, and here's another like really tight switchback that's going to go off to that side. And then if you can see over here, it kind of trails back over that way, and who knows where it goes from there. But we've really dropped some elevation here in the last like 5 minutes. Kind of crazy. I'm just hoping that this doesn't mean that we're going back up. We're getting closer, so hopefully we're bottoming out. Okay, against my better judgment, I was actually going to start setting my hammock up first, but since I took my pack off and got the weight off, I think I'm just going to do this now. It's about 5 after 5 right now. We actually arrived here a little over this way about 5 minutes ago. We saw 2 females over there and asked them which lake was here. And to our surprise, both of us, this is Rainbow Lake. And I had the map out, and I thought we were actually a little bit further back than what we were. I thought we still had some time to go yet, but apparently not. So this is going to be good. We got our site picked out here. We're going to set up our hammocks, and then apparently the lake with the water, actually I can see it, it's right this way. So our feet are a little bit tired, so we're glad we're here. Glad the day is over. There's a nice breeze going through here. Nice open area, so this is home for the night. If you take a look over here, this is not the campsite we were at just a minute ago when I was doing a video. We must have been so intent on getting to a campsite and getting everything set up that we missed the 2 signs. The 2 signs, one in a pile of rocks on a post, and then, as a matter of fact, I was sitting on a large rock with my back to that post. And then the other one was about halfway to the campsite that we thought we were going to stay at. Both of which said, no camping 200 feet from the lake. And where we had started to set up was more than 200 feet from the lake. Fortunately, Eagle Eyes Dane found a piece of paper under a rock off to the side of the campsite we thought we were going to stay at from a ranger that said explicitly, this is not a campsite, heavy fines, blah blah blah. So with everything already almost unpacked and us in the process of hanging our hammocks, we had to take everything down, pack it up, put these anchors back on our back, and then scout around the area for a less than suitable site, or a less than ideal site. So that's where we're at right now. So at least everything is set up for the night. So now we're gonna work on maybe getting some water and dinner. And if you can't tell, I'm a little drained. So maybe dinner will do me some good. But that's where we're at now. All right. This is Rainbow Lake. So we're down here right now so we can grab some water for the night. Dane's got a nice large dirty water bag. We're going to fill that up so we don't have to make the trek down here in the morning. We can just filter water at our site. It'll make it a little quicker for when we want to leave in the morning. And yeah, that's about it. We're going to grab our water, go back, make some dinner. And hopefully it livens me up a little bit, but I think sleep is going to come quick tonight because I am like whipped. Which is odd because I don't think this was really all that strenuous, but I don't know. Something took it out of me today. Alright, so you can tell we're now back at camp with full water bottles and it's time for dinner. I don't know what time it is, but it's getting late, so dinner time. Tonight's menu for me is Texas State Fair chili from Packet Gourmet. Had it left over from last year's trip to New Hampshire in the White Mountains, so it's gonna get cooked up tonight. Hopefully it'll supply some energy, so I'll feel a little more normal tomorrow morning. And I'm sure a good night's rest will help also. All right, we're in the middle of eating dinner now. Feel a little bit better, but I'm still a little bit tired. But my Texas State Fair chili is mighty tasty. And then for dessert, I told Dane that we're sharing some dehydrated ice cream sandwich and some chocolate covered espresso beans. Sounds like a good way to end the night. especially around the little campfire we got going. So overall, I guess the day was pretty good today. We saw a lot of really amazing scenery. I do feel a little bit drained. We only did like, what, 12.5 miles or so?
Something like that.
So I mean, it's not like I've never done that before, and this terrain doesn't, I mean, there were some interesting parts, but I wouldn't say it's the worst stuff I've ever dealt with. So I don't know what happened today. I just kind of like bonked at the end here. So anyways, the day's almost over. I'm getting some food going, and then I'll probably be going to bed even earlier tonight. So hopefully I'll be well rested for tomorrow morning, which is only going to be a 7-mile hike out to East Rosebud Lake. So if I don't do another one, I will see you guys tomorrow. Alright, good morning everyone. It is the morning of day 3, our final day here. It's Saturday morning. It's about 8:30 right now. We've been up since about 6:30 or so, and it was a little chilly this morning, so we got a fire going for a bit, sat around there and talked, and then we just finished breakfast a little bit ago, and we're getting ready to pack up and hike out. We've got about 7.5 miles till we get out of here, and our wives are due to pick us up at the East Rosebud Trailhead around 5 o'clock or so. So we should have plenty of time to keep the pace slower and take in the views that are still supposed to be really nice from here all the way to East Rosebud. So I'm looking forward to that. Like I said, we just finished breakfast and washed my hair, which felt nice, feel a little bit more human, and just brushed my teeth. So I'm getting ready to pack all that stuff up, and then I'm going to start packing away all the rest of my gear. I think Dane's actually already started on that, so I'm a little bit behind. So for now, I'm going to quits, and I'll talk to you guys in a little bit. Just walked out of camp about 5 minutes ago, and we got stopped by a couple of the rangers. They asked us some questions, and we talked to them for a little bit, and we're literally not even on the trail here again after about 30 seconds, and we found all these huckleberry plants here, and that's what they look like, and they're actually pretty good. They're nice and sweet. Alright, this is one of those things I just don't enjoy doing, walking while I'm taking video, but I don't know how else to get the perspective on this. Here is the trail, and right down here it just drops off down to the lake. Here's a little bit better view. If I take 2 steps, it's angled with a bunch of loose scree. I'll probably topple off the edge. So I think we'll avoid that. And you can see the trail kind of continues up over there, up over Rainbow Lake. What a beautiful way to start the day. Okay, so we've been on the trail for a little bit, and according to Dane's GPS watch, we've gone about 2 miles. Right, Dane? 2 miles? 2 miles. And this is Rimrock Lake. Nice little waterfall out there in the distance. We gained some elevation, then we just came down a couple switchbacks. And then if you look this way, we're going to head down another one here. So we gained some elevation, and now we're going to lose it on the switchbacks going down. And then the next lake we encounter, I think, is Elk Lake, which is probably about another 2 miles out from what we recall. Yeah, or one, yeah, maybe another mile. Anyways, when we get to Elk Lake, I'll do some more video of that one. And here's just another shot of Rimrock Lake, a little bit further down from the waterfall. Alright, so We have finally reached the bridge at the one end of Rimrock Lake. I recognize this from all the pictures I've seen on the internet and other people's videos. Just kind of a nice scenic area here. Okay, so we've only been on the trail here since crossing the bridge at Rimrock Lake for a little bit, and we just came across this amazing like little valley here. Well, I shouldn't call it little because it's pretty expansive, but hopefully it shows up here in the video. There's a lot of switchbacking and stuff coming up here in front of us, so looks like we're going to be losing quite a bit of elevation. But this is just a really stunning valley right here. Just to give you an indication how far up we are and how far down we're going to go, if you look, there's some people right there coming up the switchbacks that we're going to be going down in just a few seconds. It looks like we're going to lose some serious elevation. Alright, so we're just hiking along. I was in front of Dane, and he's like, "Brian, look at this." I mean, this is just incredible. Like he said, it almost hurts your neck to look up because it's so high up there. And all those various colors on the rock. It looks like someone came by and just spilled some paint down the side of this mountain up here. Just incredible scenery. Did I say that yet at all this trip? Incredible?
Maybe once or twice.
Breathtaking, stunning, I don't know.
It's hard to come up with the superlatives that fit this.
Exactly. So the scenery around here either makes me speechless or makes me feel like I have a third grade vocabulary because I just keep using the same couple words to describe this. Breathtaking, stunning, incredible, amazing, and that's about all I can come up with because it's just hard to describe what we see here. Just a nice little view of a river coming down from the mountains with some spectacular scenery up in front of us. Okay, we were just happily hiking along and all of a sudden we turn a corner and here in front of us is a bunch of water. So it appears that we are now at Elk Lake, and according to the map, this is probably the last lake we're going to see until we reach East Rosebud, which is where we finish for the day. But don't be dismayed. I'm sure, even though this is the last lake we'll see, I'm sure there'll be plenty of other stunning scenery that I'll be stopping and take pictures and video of. So, anyways, this is what Elk Lake looks like. Another beautiful setting here. So Dane and I just came around this corner here, and we've had a lot of good conversation going. We're just kind of trucking along the trail, and I happen to look up and see that body of water down there, and from looking at the map we knew that after Elk Lake there was really nothing substantial until we got to East Rosebud, and I'm sure it's not going to show up in the video, but right out here on that shore we see what looks like cabins or something. So that's got to be East Rosebud, and then according to his GPS watch it looks like we're 6.5 miles in, which is about as far as we got to go. I think we got 7 or 7.1 miles. So okay, we are like almost officially done here because right behind me is East Rosebud Lake. But what I wanted to show you and point out is, and it looks like it probably shows up in the video too, if you look up over here and actually all the way over to my left, there's actually quite a bit of haze in the air, and we've passed a couple people who are locals to say that all this haze is the result of the huge forest fires they have over in Missoula, which is actually about 300 miles or so west of here. So that's what all the haze here is. But coming back around, Our ending point is just up there to the right of those cabins up there where the trailhead ends, and this is East Rosebud Lake. So we actually made decent time here. Got here a little bit quicker than I thought we would. So East Rosebud Lake. Okay, so it is officially 1:56 here local time, and we are winding down our hike on the beaten path here in Montana. This is the official end of the trail at the East Rosebud Trailhead. So if you're curious what it looks like at the East Rosebud Trailhead, this is it. You got East Rosebud Lake back there. The official trailhead and start of the trail is right over there. You probably see the sign sticking up above the vehicles. And just a small parking area here. A few cabins down there. I don't know if those are private or if those are rental. And then just more phenomenal vistas. Hey guys, thanks for joining Dane and I on this epic hike that we were on. As you can tell, we've reached the end here. We're sitting here waiting for our wives to pick us up. If you suffer through the whole video with all my descriptive words for the trail, I'm going to say it one more time. This is just an epic, unbelievable hike. If you ever get the opportunity to come out here and do it, I highly suggest you do it. If you're even contemplating, I suggest that you do it. I've never seen any scenery like this, and quite honestly, I don't know if I ever will again. This has just been phenomenal. We ended up passing a lady who hiked through Glacier, I think she said last year, and she said this tops Glacier. So, and Dane was in Rocky Mountains National Park last year and said this just kind of blows that away too. So again, thanks for watching. If you ever get a chance, you got to come out here into Montana and do the beaten path. Thanks a lot guys, and I'll see you on the next video. Hey guys, thanks a lot for stopping by my channel and checking out this video. I hope you enjoyed watching it as much as I enjoyed the hike itself and then putting the video together afterward. I'd also like to take a quick second here to say thank you to my friend Dane Kramer for reaching out and inviting me on this trip. It's been a dream of mine for many, many years to head out west and see scenery like what you just saw in this video, and it would have never happened if Dane hadn't reached out and invited me. He was also gracious enough to allow me to use some of the video footage that he had taken and incorporate it into my video. There were some things that he had seen and videotaped that I never saw, so thanks Dane. Also thank you to his wife Cynthia, who was on this trip with us. While Dane and I were out hiking and enjoying our time out in nature, our wives were back in town and spent some time together, and I know they had a lot of fun also, and we've all made memories and friendships I think are going to last a lifetime. Another quick note here before I end, I just want to mention that at the very tail end of our hike, Dane and I came up with an idea for a collaborative video. We realized that during our planning phase for this hike there were some questions we had that was hard to find answers to, or we couldn't find answers at all until we were actually on the trail itself. So we decided to do a quick impromptu question and answer video for anyone who may be trying to plan a trip on the beaten path. Hopefully the information we provide will be helpful if you are planning a trip. So just check out my channel, you'll find the video there, and also make sure you check out Dane's site. Watch his video from this hike. It's called Superlatives. He did an excellent job on it, and you won't be disappointed. I'll put the links to Dane's video and his website down below, and so please stop by and check those out. Thanks a lot, and stay tuned for the next video.